When the debacle happened in Afghanistan, we told you, I was very adamant about the fact that there was a significant amount of prophetic significance to what we were actually watching. Now, a lot of people looked at me and said that I was a little crazy for saying that, but then I went on to explain that perhaps the most biblically relevant or significant issue related to what happened in Afghanistan is the actions of the Biden regime completely diminished the authority that the United States of America had as a superpower. Now, an overwhelming majority of the so-called moral authority of the United States has already been removed for many reasons, beyond some of the things that we've been seeing on the surface, but even more so, the United States of America and its role in the Middle East has diminished substantially. An overwhelming majority of that relates to the subject of Afghanistan and the fact that nobody has faith that the United States of America will carry through with its commitments. That's a very obvious thing. But perhaps the thing that is not so obvious is the fact that the United States of America has been brutally harsh towards Israel. And when you combine what happened in Afghanistan with what's been going on with Israel, you get the kind of news stories that we are seeing that look like this. Now, this here is not a news story. It's actually an op-ed. Let me change this just a little bit so it looks a little bit more clean here and obvious. This is an op-ed. There are lots of them that are coming out like this. We're seeing them happen again and again and again, where people are calling upon Israel to perhaps reconsider who they call their superpower sponsor. For those of you that may not know, the superpower sponsor that Israel has had for so long has, of course, been the United States of America, but the United States of America has been able to effectively demonstrate its non-desire to see Israel being supported. And let me rephrase that. Not the United States of America as a people, but the United States of America under the leadership of the Biden regime. Now, I rejoice to a degree when I see some of this because I know that this means that the Jesus Christ is coming soon. I know that his return is imminent because there's a couple of things we know in the last days. Number one, we know, first of all, that there won't be any superpowers because of what we know the Bible tells us, particularly as it relates to what's going to happen in Revelation, what's going to happen in Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39. But even more so, what's even more interesting with respect to this, the person who seems to be picking up the superpower sponsorship, even though they're not necessarily going to be a superpower for all that much longer, is Russia. You see, Russia is becoming not only friendly with Israel, but Russia is becoming friendly with everybody in the region, and the United States of America is abdicating its responsibility. What's wrong with me? To the Middle East. They're walking away from any kind of guardianship, for lack of a better term, and things are changing. Now, what we know in Ezekiel chapter 38 and 39 is that when Gog, that is the leader of Russia, and a whole series of nations attack Israel, we know that Israel will apparently not be all that successful in being able to defend their attacks. Now, there may be a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I think Israel will be surprised. I think Israel will have had a great relationship with their attackers. But we also know that God, of course, will intervene on behalf of Israel. We know that to be the case. But what's amazing is the fact that Russia is really becoming what the Bible described it would be. And we are getting ready to watch what we know is going to happen in Ezekiel 38 and 39. Now, here's the thing that I believe, and I believe this strongly. I believe that the church will be raptured before Ezekiel 38 and 39 happens, which tells me that things are about to happen soon. I don't know how soon, but I can tell you it would seem as though the return of Christ is a lot sooner than we think. It would seem as though the rapture of the church is a lot sooner than we think. We've got to open up our eyes, folks, because things are changing. And they're changing rapidly, and they are changing according to how we knew they would change because of what the Bible tells us. Bottom line, folks, keep your eyes open because Jesus is coming soon. Don't forget it. He's around the corner. Remember, our God is coming for his church, and his second coming will be around the corner after that. Keep your eyes open. Be sober. Be thinking through what you're seeing and continue to fight the good fight. God bless you.